This is an interesting question that I think is just now starting to surface in some areas. There's been some notable absences on the public scene from Xi Jinping recently. And then, of course, there was the talk about, okay, now he's confirmed he's not going to the BRICS summit on the 6th of July in Rio de Janeiro. And so there's some rumors that are starting to surface about his grip on power. What do you think?
I think that Xi Jinping has lost a substantial amount of influence. And this is especially clear in the People's Liberation Army. His number one loyalist in the military was General Hu Weidong, number two uniformed officer, a vice chairman of the Communist Party Central Military Commission. Now, General Hu has not been seen in public since March 11th. And there are rumors that he was suicided at a military hospital in Beijing in May. We don't know about those rumors, but we do know that General Hu has just disappeared, which means, did Xi Jinping sack his own guy? And a lot of people think that Xi actually did that. But I don't think that that's really that credible. And the reason is that since July 9th of last year, there were 3 articles in PLA Daily, which is the main propaganda organ of the Chinese military. Those articles praised, quote unquote, collective leadership. That's a direct slap at Xi Jinping's one-man style of rule. Those articles could not have been written if Xi Jinping were in control of the military. Simple as that. There is information that the authors of those 3 articles are generally aligned with General Zhang Yaoshao, who is the number one vice chairman of the Central Military Commission and China's number one uniformed officer, who is known to be adverse to Xi Jinping. There's been a lot of other flag officers who were thought to be aligned with China's leader, who have now been also disappeared. So there's a big cast of characters of Xi Jinping loyalists who are no longer operating. And that to me says that Xi has lost control of the military. He's also lost control. He's lost a lot of influence among civilian leaders. Although
But
here,
let me stop you just for a moment there, Gordon. I mean, that's a very sort of serious statement that he's lost control of the military. Can you expand on that?
Well, I believe, and this is just trying to see what we know objectively and trying to fit that in with other things that we know about the way the Chinese military operates, that it reached a tipping point. Maybe we need a little context. You know, Xi Jinping was responsible for purging a large number of officers from the Chinese military, ostensibly for corruption, but really because these were officers who didn't support Xi Jinping or who were aligned with other factions. Then we had, of course, the substantial restructuring of the Chinese military, beginning in the middle of, let's say, 2015 or so. And Xi Jinping was able to use that to also control officer selection. So there was a lot of people who Xi has put in place, but that also means there's a lot of people that Xi Jinping has disadvantaged. And I think that what's happened, in my sense, is that there was just enough was enough. And General Zhang Yaoshao just basically said, look, we're done with this. So I don't think that you can say that Xi Jinping controls the military when the most powerful person in the military is known to be unfriendly towards China's leader. It's, as I said, we have to sort of extrapolate a little bit, but that's the most consistent explanation with the facts that we know.
So if we take that and then kind of advance it a little bit further, what does that mean in the short term? I mean, what could we expect to see in the top tier there in China's leadership?
I think that well, let me give you the range of rumors, and then we can sort of sort through. The range of rumors are Xi Jinping is going to lose formally his military and other civilian posts in August. In other words, he's no longer to be general secretary of the Communist Party. He's no longer going to be chairman of the party's Central Military Commission. He's no longer going to be state president. That's one end of the spectrum. Other people believe that he will be kept on, but only formally, that he will basically become a figurehead. Other people believe that he will remain more than a figurehead, but he will basically be substantially weakened. And other people say he's as strong as ever. So there's a wide range of opinion. But when we see what's happening among civilians, we see the changes in propaganda. We see, for instance, Xi Jinping not going to the BRICS. We have to say something is up. We may not know the full extent of what is up, but clearly the regime is unstable. Now, one other thing that is that we should keep in mind, and that is Xi Jinping is a strong man, and both Mao Zedong and Deng Xiaoping, the first two leaders in the People's Republic, were strong men. And they were exiled or they were sidelined many times in each of their careers, and they came back. So Xi Jinping could come back. But if we're talking about this week, I think that Xi Jinping is very weakened, and that he is fighting for his political life. You know,
for Xi Jinping, is it more important for him to hold the military or to hold the civilian leadership?
Military. Okay. It's the guys with the guns that are the most important. As Mao Zedong famously said, it's the guys. Well, he said the party controls the guns, but in this case, the party's not controlling the guns. It's the guns that really matter. So if Xi Jinping were able to control the military, then he could pretty much determine what to do on civilian stuff. And matter of fact, some of the more interesting rumors, and these are just rumors, I'm not standing behind them, but the more interesting rumors are that General Chang has actually been interviewing civilians for the next post of General Secretary of the Communist Party, and that one of them, a leading candidate, was actually set to the sidelines because that leading candidate would not agree to allow the Chinese military to control itself, and was not willing to agree to specific increases in the Chinese military budget. This is fascinating. If it's true, it means that General Chang is the most powerful figure in China at this moment. As I said, I'm not standing behind this rumor, but it shows you what could very well be the case. And it certainly explains my answer to you about why it's more important for Xi Jinping to control the military than it is for him to control an unruly bunch of civilians.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.